But right now we turn our attention to Coastal Carolina and welcome in. I don't think it's for the first time because I believe Coach was with us back in 2020 when he served as the acting head coach when Coach Gilmore was first diagnosed with his cancer. So it's good to have him back. But now the baby is his, and he runs it the way he wants to run it. Coach Kevin Schnall joins us, and welcome in, sir. How are you?
Doing great. Thanks for having me.
How you feeling? What's the feeling here a couple of days in after getting the official release of being the new head coach?
Oh, the feeling's great. I love this place. Coastal's a very special place to my family and I, and the opportunity that I have to be able to stay here at my alma mater and continue to lead this program is very exciting. I
would think that you've been there so long, you played there, you've worked with Coach Gilmore for so long. There's not a whole lot to tinker with, is there? It's just like, put the pedal down and just move straight ahead?
Well, got to kind of realign some responsibilities, but outside of that, no. And we're fortunate we just hired Chad Oxendine. Chad Oxendine was a former player here, also coached here, was our director of baseball operations. He was just at Longwood the last 3 years as the head coach. He's coming back as our associate head coach and recruiting coordinator. So it's going to really create the continuity is really important. It's going to really create a lot of sense of pride because Chad Oxendine loves this program just as much as I do, just as much as Gary Gilmore does, and just as much as Matt Schilling does. And that's what I think separates Coastal is the people that work out of this coach's offices. I mean, we have a different sense of pride in Coastal Carolina University. We've watched Coastal Carolina grow into what it is today, and we love this place with all of our heart.
Oh, absolutely. How do you not deal with, but with Coach Gilmore retiring, do you still lean on him in any way when he's away, bounce anything off of him? How's that relationship going to work as you see it moving forward?
Well, that's a good question, and I'm just going to be honest with you. I've been so fortunate to have had the opportunity to share the dugout with Gilly for, it's amazing to think, 23 of the past 27 years. And to put that into perspective, that's half of my life. And together, it started with his lead, but together we accomplished an immense amount of success, and it's been an incredible ride. And when I think about this ride, it all started with a couple chances. And that chance that Gilly took on me as a player in 1997, and then again the chance he took on me as a coach in 2000. And if it wasn't for those chances, quite frankly, I'm not sure where I'm at today. So I can assure you I will continue to lean on Gary Gilmore, and I'm so, I'm forever indebted for everything he's done for me.
A familiar face in a new role, Kevin Schnall, the head baseball coach of Coastal Carolina, joining us tonight here on Sports Talk. And, Coach, you talked about playing for Gary Gilmore. You are an outstanding catcher at Coastal Carolina, so I'll ask you, did you learn more about what you're able to apply now as a head coach playing for Gary or when you were an assistant with Gilly? Where did you maybe learn your best lessons as a baseball coach?
I think it's a blend, both. I mean, as a player, Gilly was extremely demanding. And I responded really well to his demands and his expectations. And I became the best player I ever been here at Coastal. I ever was here at Coastal. And it was because of, in a lot because of Gary Gilmore and the way that he pushed and motivated me to be the best player. And then as a coach, he gave me the keys in some ways and basically gave me a very long leash and pushed me, again, in lack of a better word, off the edge and said, hey, go figure it out. And he gave me a lot of autonomy to figure this out and to learn. He didn't micromanage every move I had, and I'm forever grateful for that.
What is it about catchers in your mind make and turn out to be really, really good head coaches?
they know the game the best. They're the toughest guys on. I'm joking. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, they always say because you're always the one looking out. You're seeing the whole field. You're working with the hitting guy. You're working with the pitching guy. Maybe it makes you a little bit more well-rounded. You've got to work with the demeanor of the pitching staff, but then also you've got to work with your position players. You're around your position players a lot. You're around the pitchers a lot. Maybe that just makes you a little bit more well-rounded, a little bit more in tune with everybody.
You mentioned Chad Oxendine coming back into the program and being an alumnus at Coastal as he is. I'm sure that was a big deal for you. Also, you've got an open search right now for a new pitching coach to replace Jason Beverland. Where do you see that direction going? Are you looking in the family once again, or do you plan on possibly bringing somebody in from the outside?
I think at this point the direction is somebody from the outside. We're being very intentional with the guys that we're targeting. We're making sure that we're not rushing this decision because this is a critical decision, and we want to make sure that it is the right guy, the right fit, the person that we feel like will have synergy with our staff, will be in line with our staff, will be in line with what Coastal baseball is all about. So this is a really critical hire, and we've got to make sure that we get it right. So we're making sure that we're not going to rush, but this is one of the premier jobs in America, and the amount of people that are interested in this position is tremendous. So we've got a lot of very qualified candidates that are dying to be at Coastal, rightfully so, and now it's our job to make sure that we go after the right one.
I know you probably hated taking over in 2020 under those circumstances that Coach Gilmore was going through. But now that you are the head coach 4 years later, that experience beneficial to you when you reflect on what you learned running the program at that time?
I can assure you I'm well prepared and ready for this assignment, and that's because of Gary Gilmore. I said it earlier. He's always given me, but his whole staff, autonomy. He's given us a lot of freedom to go out and coach, to make decisions. Obviously he was the leader, and the final decision came from him, but he did give us, a lot of say. And because of that, I do feel much more prepared for what's next.
When it comes to scheduling, he took on all comers, as you well know, and tried to schedule anybody that would play. What's your philosophy on scheduling?
Exactly with him. And it started with Matt Hogue, our athletic director. He was the mastermind behind it all back in the day. And we're going to continue to lean on Matt with our scheduling. As you said, we had the number 2 non-conference schedule last year. We had a top 25 overall schedule last year, and that will continue. We're going to play the best schedule we can possibly play. We play in the Sun Belt Conference, which is one of the top 5 conferences in the entire country. And ultimately, if we want to win another national championship, if we want to, we've been to 3 straight regional finals. If we want to win on that Sunday moving forward, we've got to continue to play and challenge ourselves versus the best people in the country.
How about y'all invite the Gamecocks to come down, baseball at the beach, your first game against Paul Maneri, his first game at South Carolina, down at your place, huh?
Absolutely. I'm in.
Speaking of him, though, Coach, clearly from our perspective, your news was the biggest news of the day yesterday. But with the Gamecocks hiring Paul Maneri, this is the guy who you ran through in 2016 at the Super Regionals to beat LSU and win the national championship. What do you know about him, and what can you tell Gamecock fans about their new coach?
I don't know much about Coach Maneri outside of, he's one of the best college baseball coaches to ever coach college. He's a guy that I have nothing but the utmost respect for. And, obviously we welcome to South Carolina and wish him nothing but the best.
Coach, congratulations to you once again. Looking forward to a nice, long Gary Gilmore-like run. It'll be a Kevin Schnall run at Coastal Carolina. A lot of postseason, College World Series trips, championships, etc. And look forward to talking to you quite a bit here on Sports Talk the years to come. Thank you tonight for the time.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you. I get a chance to talk about Coastal baseball. It's an absolute honor, so I appreciate you guys having me.
Always. Thank you very much. Kevin Schnall,
Right.
new head coach at Coastal. I wonder in their record book, when he served as the interim coach, acting head coach back in 2020, I guess, did those wins and losses go under his name?
That's a good question. I think so. Now, keep in mind, that was also the COVID year, so he didn't get to coach all that long that year. But, yeah, it's a good question. I think those are probably wins that would be applied to him, not Coach Gilmore.
Yeah. Like I remember when Krzyzewski had to sit out about 2/3 of a year at Duke because of back injury, back surgery, and they had a terrible season. He made sure that the record went on the trying to think who the coach was that had to step up and replace him as assistant coach, but the record went against him, not Krzyzewski. He wasn't claiming that.